Okay, today we're going to be making pop art. So, what is pop art? Pop art is a piece of art that has four different quadrants that the saturation has been set to different amounts to give things kind of a fun comic-y look. This is one of the more famous pieces of pop art, but there are lots of pieces of pop art such as this one. So, how do you make pop art, you ask? Well, we're going to go into Photoshop and we're going to click on New File and we are going to click on Letter and then we're going to change our orientation to Landscape. Everything else should be what you want it to be. We're going to click Create, which is going to open up our page here. Then I am going to choose a subject of some sort. So if I go back to Google, and I type in someone. Let's go Gojo Satoru, and I really like this one. Let's go with this one. So I'm going to save the image as, save it to my downloads. Then I'm going to go back into Photoshop and I'm going to place embedded, and then you can't see it because it's on my other screen, but in my downloads folder I'm going to click on Gojo here. Now things are a little blurry. We're going to shrink that down so that gets sorted out, which is fine because we don't actually really need that anyways. Well, there we go. It kind of sorted out after I finished placing it. And then what I can do is I can go select and I can go subject, and it's going to auto select Gojo for me there, which is perfect. And then I'm going to click on this button, create a mask from selection. I could also do that down here, make a layer mask, but this is the easier way to do it. So I'm just going to click on that, and there we go. Now we've got a mask that we only see our boy Gojo in. Then I'm going to go back into Edit, and I'm going to free transform because I don't want him to take up the whole area, because remember in pop art we kind of do it in sections. So I'm going to just move him up here and get him nice and placed. All right. After that, I'm going to want to make a new layer. All right. I've got my new layer selected. Make sure you have the layer selected when you do this. I've got my new layer selected, and then I'm going to go up here to my color. I'm going to click on that, and I want to select a background color. So I usually with pop art, you want it to be pretty bright colors. So I'm going to go with a nice bright pink here. I'm going to click OK. And now that I've got my layer selected, I'm going to click the fill button, which is going to bring up this little menu here, this background color menu, and I'm going to click OK. Now it's going to look like this. It's going to take up the whole screen. That's all right. We don't mind. We are going to then click Edit. We're going to click Free Transform. You can also do Command T if you want. But we're going to do Free Transform, and then I can grab the little side box on the corner here, and I can shrink this down. And now, just so that we can see our good friend Gojo, I'm going to drag that behind him. And there we go. Now we've got Gojo in front of it. And if I want to adjust it so that it actually fits now properly, because now that I've got the background piece and I've got Gojo, I'm just going to click on the Gojo layer. All right, make sure that you click on the Gojo layer. And then I am going to do the same thing, free transform, and I'm just going to drag Gojo to fit here. All right, there we go. Gojo's looking good now. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to, still with the Gojo layer selected. Okay, we've got Gojo in here. He's framed nicely within our frame. I'm going to make sure that I have the layer selected, and after I have the layer selected, I'm going to go up into this Image tab, and then I'm going to go down to Adjustments, and when I go to Adjustments, I can do Hue and Saturation. All right, and now I'm going to just I don't know if I want it to be quite so green. Let's do this. Let's play around with it a little bit. Oh, I kind of like that. And we're going to change the lightness to a point where I'm happy with it. This will also depend on your image quality. So if your image quality is very good, I'm just going to keep kind of fiddling until I decide, oh, you know what? That's kind of fun. I like that. So I'm going to click OK, and I've got my very first Gojo section. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on my select tool, and I'm going to click on my boy Gojo on the sidebar here, and I'm just going to click this duplicate layers button, okay? So I'm going to click on duplicate layers. Okay, now that duplicate layers button has opened up. It's going to look something like this. I'm going to hit OK, and now I've duplicated the layer, so I've got 2 Gojos. Then I'm going to use my move tool, and I'm just going to move Gojo here. Alright, now you might find that you need to adjust things, so I'm going to Command T, because I do want Gojo to fit perfectly beside other Gojo without having him be cut off. So what this is going to mean is that I'm going to have to shrink both of the Gojos. So I'm going to also shrink this Gojo down to size so that they're about the same. This will only happen the first time because you'll be you'll have it fitted after that. So now that I've done that, I'm probably also going to need to make sure that I select my layer 1 here, my background layer, and just shrink that down a little bit so that it fits. You're going to have to play with it just a bit. I'm going to use my move tool again to select Gojo, and I'm just going to pop him up, and I'm going to pop him up. There we go, looking good. Now I'm going to go ahead and add another layer. So I'm going to click that layer button down at the bottom again, right? Your layers button. Now that I've done that, I'm going to choose my color swatch again. This time I'm going to go with a let's go with a yellow. I like that. Let's go yellow. I'm going to click on no, I'm going to click on edit. Yep, edit, fill. After I've clicked on that, I'm going to click on OK. And then I'm going to do my Command T so I can free transform, right? Command T. And then I'm going to get this here and just get it to the size that I want it to be. Perfect. All right. Now I just need to make sure that my other Gojo is over top of it. Then I can click on that again. And then I'm going to want to change the way that it looks again. So I'm going to go into images. I'm going to go into adjustments. I'm going to go into hue and saturation. And then I'm just going to adjust this. Now, this is interesting because I duplicated it, so it's going to be its own original image. So when I adjust it, it's actually going to adjust the adjustments. Let's do a blue Gojo, maybe. Hey, yeah, looks good. I like that. Okay, so now I've got 2 of my panels done. The goal is to have 4 panels. So I'm going to leave you here in the video. Feel free to do your last 2 panels, and that is what our first assignment is. The last thing that you're going to do when you have all of your panels done is you are going to go into this text box option. You've got horizontal type tool, vertical type tool. Either or works. You can even do a mask tool if you want to, but I just prefer to do the regular text. I'm going to use the vertical tool because I think it's kind of fun. I'm just going to click. It'll give me this randomly generated text. I'll highlight that. I'll delete that, and I'm just going to type in pop art. All right, so then that's running vertically. I can change the size. I want this to be a little bit bigger, and I think I'm going to just, I'm going to leave it at that. So now I'm going to just click away from that. There we go. There it is. I can do this. I can move it up. If you want to, you can highlight it and change the color. Like if you want it to just be black, you can do that. Or if you want to change the style of the text, I think like this looks nice. And I actually don't want it to be black. I think that I want it to be, let's go with like a cool blue. Well, actually, maybe that doesn't show up as well as I want it to. We're going to go with that. All right. I'm just going to click away, and there we go. We've got pop art. So just remember that you'll have those 2 more. And here we have my finished pop art. So this is what it's going to look like at the end. You got 4 panels, 4 different saturated images of one of your favorite characters.